Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to use the line tool in Google Slides. So remember, if we're going to do any kind of manipulation in Google Slides, you have to be in the edit mode, which is the mode we're currently on. If you were to come up and hit the present button, it's going to put you into presentation mode. And now if I want to go and draw anything on this graph, I have no way to do so. If I click on the graph, it's going to advance me onto the next slide. I don't want to do that. So I need to get out of presentation mode. So I can either do that by hitting the exit button on the toolbar at the bottom, or I can hit the escape key on my keyboard, and now I am back into edit mode. So now I want to follow the directions on this slide. I want to draw a line segment to connect the two red dots on my graph. So we do have a line tool to be able to do that. So if I come up on my toolbar, that line tool is right here. And if I click on the little arrow here, it's going to show me a bunch of different options. And I want a line segment. So that would be the first one, because if you notice the little picture, there's no arrows on either end. So if I click on that, notice my cursor had changed to a plus sign. If you still had the arrow on that, it's not going to work. So if I come over and start on either one of my red dots, if I just click on the dot, it's going to draw the line just in a random place. That doesn't mean I really did anything wrong. I just have to resize this. So I'm going to take the end that's not on the dot, click and hold, and then I can drag it over to the red. Now there is another way I can do this, so I can do it in one shot. If I go to my undo button, notice it made it back to the size where it put on there, hit the undo again and it disappears completely. Notice my cursor's back, so I'm not going to be able to do anything. If I click on here, nothing's going to happen. I need to go back up to my line tool. Since it's already set for line, click on it, my plus sign is back. Go over to one of the red dots. So if I click and hold and then drag down to the other red dot and let go, now it's going to be between the two dots, it's going to connect them. I can take this line now that I've drawn it and I can make changes to it. So if I go back up to my toolbar, notice I just have the line button on here. But if I go back to the line I just drew and I click on it, it's going to give me some other options over here. So I can change the line color. Let's make it red so it matches. I can change the weight of the line. I can make it really thick, like that's kind of crazy. I can make it a little thinner. Let's just go with 3 points. I can make it a dotted line if I want to, a dashed line. I'm going to keep it a solid. And I can also add different things here. I can add different arrowheads on this, on either one of these. But I want this to be a line segment, so I am going to leave it as endpoints. So that's how we would draw a line segment. To draw a ray to connect the two blue dots, well, if I go back up to my line tool, again, notice my cursor. This is just the select cursor. It's not going to do anything if I drag. I have to go back up here, go down to the arrow, and I'm going to click on the one that says arrow because if you notice, this one does have an arrowhead on this. So if I click on that, I now have the plus sign as my cursor. Go to either one of the dots. A ray has an endpoint and then it goes forever in either direction. I'm going to start at the bottom and have it go to the top of the blue line. So I'm going to click and hold to do this in one step. Click and hold on one of the dots, drag it through the other dot, and then let go. So once I do that, if I notice, it's a really thin line, but it does have the arrowhead on it. I can click on this. I can go back up here. Let's change it to blue. Let's change the weight to 3 points. And then again, it already has, the line start already has nothing there. It's an end, it's just an endpoint on it. But the end line has the arrow, and I can change the arrowhead if I want. I can make it that one, I can make it see-through, I can make it any one of these. I'm going to leave it as this one. All right, so now the last thing says to draw a line to connect the green dots. Well, I want to draw a line that has an arrow on both sides, and if I go back up to my arrow tool, to my line tool, I don't have one of those that has one on both. So it really doesn't matter which one you pick. I'm just going to go to the line one. And again, I have my plus sign here. So I want my line to go a little bit past both of the end points. So I'm going to take my cursor, I'm going to press and hold a little bit past the dot. I'm going to trace it through. And again, I could do this anywhere. It's going to keep it a straight line. And then once I have it right where I about want it, let go. And I can still adjust this once I've done that. If you notice, it's a little off center here. So if I take this endpoint, click and drag, I can make it a little centered. And I can even do that with the other side if I want to. So there we go. All right, so now here's my line, but it's still technically a segment. I don't have arrows on both sides. So if I click on it, again, I'm going to come up. Let's make it green. Let's change the weight to 3. Again, I want my starting to be an arrow, and I want my end of my line to also be an arrow. So now I have a straight line with arrows on both. Okay, so that's how you would use the line tool in Google Slides. I hope you found this video helpful. Have a great day.